You are listening to Viewpoints from PlaceCloud. Cultural researchers tell stories of places from around the world. For the full multimedia experience and to support the creators you enjoy, visit placecloud.io.
If you arrived here on the DLR, you relived the arrival of Tammy and Andy, two children returning to their father Don, played by Robert Carlyle, to a quarantined London in the 2007 horror 28 Weeks Later. The film is a sequel to Danny Boyle's famous 28 Days Later, catching up on London 28 weeks after a rage virus has left the city overrun by zombie-like cannibals. While the rage-infected throngs overran the city, Tammy and Andy were trapped abroad, separated from their parents in England. And at the start of the film, they're finally able to return home to a military-run quarantine zone here on the Isle of Dogs. At Canary Wharf Station, Don, Tammy, and Andy are finally reunited, and the children learn that their mother was lost to the infected. In the first film, 28 Days Later, we only see Canary Wharf briefly when Jim, played by Cillian Murphy, is hidden away in one of the convenience stores underground in the station. While hiding, he learns from two other survivors about the rage virus, the infected, and what's happened while he was in a coma. 28 Weeks Later makes a brief reference to this first film by including a small memorial just outside the underground station's distinctive arched entryway. But 28 Weeks Later makes much more of the area, as Tammy, Andy, and Don begin their life with the other survivors in nearby One Canada Square. As you can see around you, the Canary Wharf area is filled with tall glass buildings, and the film makes the most of this architecture. In One Canada Square, the seemingly private homes for survivors are carefully watched through the glass panes by snipers in the surrounding rooftops. These snipers belong to the U.S. Army, who've taken military control over the mission to repopulate England. Presented as almost inhuman, the military are heavily armed and prepared to kill anyone who shows signs of being infected. As you might expect from a horror movie, the rage virus soon returns to the quarantine zone, and when it becomes difficult to contain, the soldiers are ordered to kill everyone on the island, infected or not. The glass buildings and narrow pathways of Canary Wharf become a trap where there's nowhere to hide. As the terrified crowds run from infected, they're easily plowed down by the military, who can see them even when they're indoors. Fortunately, Tammy and Andy make an escape with the help of one of the U.S. medical officers. But given how open Canary Wharf is, they're forced to go south towards Greenwich to survive. Before you go, have a look around Canary Wharf and wider Isle of Dogs. As the iconic high-rises are seen in many movies, you might recognize several of them. Among the movies they're featured in is the recent horror film, London Voodoo. The film is mostly set in Greenwich, where I have other viewpoints, but the film includes a shot of the husband, Lincoln, through one of the glass-plated windows amid the cold buildings of the wharf. The shot, through a window and at a long distance, suggests how far away Lincoln is from a real tragedy happening in his home. The buildings themselves do seem cold and alienating, and it makes the Canary Wharf area seem inhuman in films like London Voodoo and 28 Weeks Later. In fact, whenever I come here, I can't help but think it is a perfect place for horror.